Hello everyone, this is a quick tutorial on my Shockbox swapper. I've seen quite a few of these going around. A lot of them kind of lacked the functionality or maybe even design that I was looking for. So I've taken a little crack at it myself and I'm going to show you what it does. So what you've got here, you've got your Shockbox with whatever categories you want. This can hold 2 droppers worth of shulker boxes, so you can get about 18 shulker boxes. I don't advise that. I think it works best with 9, so you're just filling the dispenser. And essentially what happens, you've got all your boxes there, you can hit the no block to get it changed out, and then it'll cycle through all 9 shulker boxes, or 18 even. Again, don't really bother with the 18 in there, but I would advise that you don't. When you put 18, it starts to get a little bit messy. You don't necessarily get the boxes you want. I've used it and not had too much of a problem with it. I'm just not going to advise it to you guys. Do it however you feel. So essentially what happens, you can keep quick swiping through. You got all your redstone items. I've got like an observer, redstone blocks, droppers. Now this is a random system, so sometimes you'll get the same box like every 2 or 3 clicks. Sometimes you may not. Sometimes it may go exactly how you want it to, like it actually just did there. It's a pretty straightforward system. I would say this works better maybe any point during the game. It doesn't take too many resources. It's a little bit more expensive than the ones I've seen online, but I think with this the speed kind of makes up for it, which is kind of why I wanted it. One thing also to note, it's not one wide tileable. You can put them every other block, but unfortunately, due to the fact, in fact, the redstone itself isn't too bad. It is redstone dust here. I was going to change that out to make it tileable, but the bigger issue is when you start going heavy on the swaps, sometimes the boxes can fly off to the side, so you don't want it going into another category. One of the other functionalities of this, now I would advise using a stone pressure plate in case something drops on there and then it does end up blocking that hopper. The reason for this pressure plate right here is, let's say for example you're swapping through and you say, you know what, I need the observer box. Now the good thing about this is you can use it as just a, I'll take a few, need a couple of these, need a couple of these. Oh, my bad. I'll show you that in a sec. I need a couple of these, nice and easy. But let's say you want the whole box. Instead of having it cycle through and dropping through, just go forward, stand on the plate, hit the button, and there you go. Box is yours. When you are done with it, what you can do is just go ahead and throw them back into the system. And that's pretty much the gist of it. These are the resources you can see here. It's pretty straightforward. What I might do, I might just leave a world download, because if you've got like Matica or anything like that, it's easier just to take a schematic of it and build them up. But to be honest with you, this is going to be one of the easier ones to do. If you do, what you can actually do in addition to that, let's say for example you have all sand or all gravel and you want to occupy all 18 shulker box spaces, so you can put 9 in there, 9 in there. I wouldn't advise using that dropper at all. I don't know how well it's going to cycle, but you can actually use it so anything that you need to cycle through you can get from here. But if you need a few shulker boxes of sand, for example, you can access the bottom dropper and grab what you need. In my single player Let's Play world, I'm going to be setting up about 6 of these to accompany a larger storage system. I would actually advise that you use it in a similar kind of way to accompany mass storage. So if you've got a bunch of stone and stuff like that, maybe keep those in larger chests or something like that. I would go using these for stuff like this. I think this is a great example. As redstone components, you're not going to ever usually need more than a shulker box of comparators and stuff like that at a time. So this works better for that. However, like I said, you can fit up to 18 shulker boxes in the system, which is still quite a lot of resources, but you use it how you want. But again, it is going to be a little bit more expensive for some people, but if you've got a decent iron farm and a little bit of redstone, I think you should be alright. I'm just going to run through pretty much the materials you need. I'm not going to include the blocks for dressing it up a little bit. I'm just going to show you what the essentials that you'll need are, and then you can kind of decorate and stuff all by yourself. So this is basically all you're going to need. You're going to need a dispenser, 2 droppers, 5 observers, 3 redstone dust, 3 note blocks, a comparator, a sticky piston, a hopper, and a pressure plate. So what I'll do, just take all these. Oh. So let's get started. So the first thing you're going to want is a block that's going to stay there. That can be anything, doesn't really matter. And then right in front of it, you're going to want dropper facing upwards, and dropper facing upwards, you're going to need it so it's on top of the block in front of it. Secondly, you put dispenser facing forward, hopper going into the bottom dropper, and we're going to put a comparator on the block just behind. Alright. Next thing you want to do is put a sticky piston facing up, just in front of the block that's holding the comparator. Put a observer facing into the comparator, and then temporary block, and then that's going to stay there. So that's all it's going to do is once it detects that you've thrown a box into the system, just going to run a quick clock to put it all up to the best place to go. That's another reason why you can't use the bottom dropper as storage, because that's really only there to detect any boxes that are waiting to be put into the system. This thing will just carry on going off. If these are full and it has nowhere to go, it will just keep running the clock. So definitely 18 items. The next thing you're going to want to do is get a block for the pressure plate and then just pop that on top. I've used stone in case something drops on top of it. You don't want to have it holding the hopper system, so stone, if an item drops on it, you'll be fine. If you're on it, then it will hold it, no problem. And then we're going to want the piston, which we're going to face downwards, just like that. Let's go for that. So we're going to put a note block just up here, the observer, 2 more note blocks, an observer facing into that, and 2 observers facing into that. On top of here, you want to put 3 redstone dust, so just put a straight line down there. And I think, guys, we are pretty much done. Now, just for the demonstration again, I'm going to block the sides off to make sure nothing drops out. And I will once again do that. Let's get some shock boxes. In fact, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. I think they're all different. Oop, that's my bad. So once we've loaded these in here, you can see that's actually 8 in the system and 1 out here. And then once again, cycle through really quickly. Now this is one of the problems if you start going too fast. You're going to find that sometimes these do drop out of there. Just take it a little bit slower. I think you should be okay at that speed. Now again, this is a random system, so the box dispensed to you will be at random. I've never ever found this a problem before when I've used it, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll be happy to answer anything through the YouTube comment section. Otherwise, enjoy the swapper. Thank you.